Hi everyone, Cindy Olin here with Create Your Own Luck and Love, and welcome to the Summer of Love Lives. And I wanted to talk a little bit today outside. Uh, outside because it's summer, and why not? We get to have just this beautiful blue sky. Hopefully you do wherever you're at. I do today, and I wanted to chat with you guys a little bit about what inspires a man's commitment and what inspires him to commit long term. So, a couple of things that come up. I know a lot of women that either they meet someone, the chemistry's great, it's hot and heavy, and then it ends as quickly as it starts, or you are really good at getting into a relationship but not going to that next step and next level of commitment. It's easier in the beginning, and then something changes and it becomes hard. So the difference between understanding this and knowing this and doing this well is the difference between really creating a connection with a man where he's inspired to commit to you long term for a lifetime. So it's a okay, sorry, I'm hearing some background. So it's basically it's the difference between force versus inspiration. So, first things first, early on when you're dating and relating, you want to make sure that the person, the object of your desire does have similar long-term goals as you, right? And that you see that he would be the kind of man that would be a great partner for you, whatever your long-term goals are. Those long-term goals could be anything from, maybe you have a dream of getting married and having a family, or maybe it's to spend the rest of your years with someone. I also want to hear, too, really quick, just a quick check-in to say hi to everyone. I always love hearing whether you're listening to the replay or you're watching me live. And feel free to put any questions out there, any clarification you might want and need around this. So there's a lot of, oftentimes for women, and this isn't true for everyone, when we get really attached to wanting something with someone, we get attached to their undying commitment, right? And what can happen is that energy can come out as force or a hard requirement. Oh, awesome. I'm so happy you're here, Michelle. Yay! Well, anyways, so when it comes to creating that deep connection, I'm going to keep it fairly simple today around this, and inspiring him to want to commit to you long term. One, I've talked about this a lot recently. Men love happy women. Men love a woman that they can win with, or they feel like they can win with. And if you're getting to a certain stage in your relationship and you don't feel like it's quite going to that next level, then my son's actually in, he's over crying. So not too far away, but at any rate, I'll get back to him in a minute. He's fine. So at any rate, what happens is we can, women hate feeling like we're in the gray. So what inspires him to commit to you is actually inspiring him. So let me explain that to you really quick. Is bringing up something in an inviting way. Like, gosh, I really love our adventures together. I really so much love our trips, our whatever you love, right? And what happens is when you say something, gosh, I love these things, and you know what, and then here's the middle part. This is the vulnerable piece. And sometimes I get scared that we're not going to, go to the next level. I would love to see our relationship, go to that place that we've talked about in the past, which is, next step marriage and, our 2 homes, one in wherever, one in Mexico and one in Florida. Could be anything, right? Or whatever your dream is, right? Or our dream of, our talks of doing these things, the things that you discussed in the past, right? In an inviting, not emotionally charged way, right? So when you have these conversations, it's important not to be triggered. Again, hear me out. It's important not to come from an emotional place. It's important not, to try not to be attached, that, this may not be the person that you do this with, and trust that your dreams are there for a reason and you're having a conversation, right? So the last thing you want to say is literally, what do you think about that? Because remember, men respond to what do you think rather than how do you feel. Women, we talk all about how we feel about things. So I hope that really helps you guys in understanding, an invitation, giving him an invitation for these things to be his idea. Now, here's the difference between men and women. He's not necessarily going to have the answer for you right now. Women, we've already solved 5 problems in our brain. We're on to the next thing, or we're stewing over the problem that we have. With men, I can tell you, they think differently, they process information differently, and it's a great thing because they do think differently than we do, and they process something in a manner of, okay, so she said this would make her really happy. And he thinks about it. And remember, with men, he's going to be on an overall how he feels when he's with you and when he's away with you. That's how he makes decisions in your relationship. And it may not be that this isn't where he's at or what he wants. It may be he hasn't quite gotten there yet. He's gotten excited about you and he's enjoying the flow of the relationship and trying to get to know you more, right? If you're already in a relationship, it's been long term and you really want to see it go to the next level, they're, finding out in this same manner and this similar form of communication what is going to, if he's on the same page or not. And again, like I said, it may take him some time to to respond to you, or he might go, okay, let me think about that, and give him space. You don't need to check back in with him typically, because he'll be thinking about it, and he'll show you either in his actions or words where he's at. If we put pressure, force will push them away. Force of, I really thought this was going to happen by now, or we had discussed us, moving in together or something by this time. It hasn't happened right now. And, it's I get that we have our agenda, and we have our wants and needs, and we also get to consider what the other person is going through, what's happening in their life. Is this something that they're trying to do? And sometimes men aren't as open about what they're doing behind the scenes, because they like to solve problems and then share about them. Not all men are like this, but it is more the majority that are. And, if you have a flow of open communication in this manner, which can be very easy, inviting communication, and the same way when you're setting boundaries, what happens is he feels safer to open up to you when he's trying to solve a problem. So he feels safer to open up to you when he's trying to solve a problem. So coming from a place of an invitation and, a loving, open conversation, rather than, a frustration, then and coming from, it would make me happy. It would make me feel, excited and safe and extraordinarily even more grateful to get to go to this next level. And, a man, when he is in that mode of trying to figure things out, he looks at, can I provide for her these things? Can I provide for her the things that will ultimately make her happy? So remembering that, ladies, please let me know if you have any questions, comments, men that are on here, questions, comments, anything to add to this. And what happens truly is he will start to come forward, and he'll feel like, oh gosh, it was my idea, because men like to move forward and execute on these things when it comes to deeper commitment and being a leader in your partnership. Sorry, it's getting windy out here. And know that he's winning, and also the fact that it's his idea to do this. So he will actually process it and come up with the next plan and feel really committed to that decision. He won't waver. Men take commitment very, very seriously. And when they commit to something, especially as serious as a long-term commitment, that's what, it does take some time, effort, energy from them, as well as getting the space from you to do it on their terms, right? So considering what's happening in his life, has he had a stressful work situation, anything in your environment, their environment that's changed, you guys? It's really taking everything under account and, moving forward that way, not just with what is my agenda, right? And trusting that things will transpire within that time, and it may not with that person. They may not be on the same page, and that's okay. Then you get to make powerful decisions for yourself. And I know that's not always easy, but you want to come from a place of, what are my wants, needs, and desires? Does this person, and that's why in the very beginning, you want to make sure someone's aligned with you. If something changes, it can. It's more rare that something major changes. But, inspiring a man to commit on a bigger level with you, he will do so when you have an attitude that's light, happy, and connective. Anyway, I hope this helps you guys. Feel free to ask any more questions. Hearts, thumbs ups are always welcome, and I'm sending you guys so much love. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll be going deeper around examples that will help you in really creating this a deeper connection as well. So enjoy, have fun. Summer's meant to be fun and light, and you get to really create those the relationship that you want. Sending lots of love. Have an amazing day. Bye, everyone.